Trey Yesavage has a new place in baseball history. The Toronto Blue Jays have a 3-2 World Series lead. The Los Angeles Dodgers have some soul-searching to do. Behind a World Series rookie record 12 strikeouts from the 22-year-old Yesavage, the Blue Jays cruised to another win 6-1 over the Dodgers in Game 5 of the Fall Classic. They will go back to Rogers Center with 2 chances to clinch their first championship since 1993. The night belonged to Yesavage, who was drafted last season, began 2025 at Low A Dunedin, and didn't make his MLB debut until mid-September. The Dodgers' offense was struggling before Wednesday, but Yesavage outright dominated them on Wednesday. He struggled in Game 1, mainly due to a lack of feel for his signature splitter, instead leaning on a slider that can come and go. Both pitches worked to a monstrous degree in Game 5, with the Dodgers whiffing 14 times on 29 swings against the slider and 7 times on 10 swings against the splitter. Overall, Yesavage worked an outstanding 44% whiff rate. He struck out every Dodger in a revamped starting lineup at least once, and their 2-3-4 hitters 2 times each for good measure. His lone mistake was an inside fastball that Kike Hernandez punished for the Dodgers' only run. Toronto had all the runs it needed by the time Yesavage took the mound in the first. Both Yesavage and Blake Snell were trying to recover from rough Game 1 starts, and for Snell, that effort went south on the first 3 pitches of the game. Blue Jays leadoff hitter Schneider ambushed a fastball on Snell's first pitch. Then Vladimir Guerrero Jr. crushed an inside mistake to make it 2-0 Toronto before the first out. That made the Jays the first team in World Series history to lead off with back-to-back home runs. Snell actually settled in pretty well from there, all but abandoning his fastball against a lineup that has spent this postseason demolishing them. It got rough for him as he reached the 7th inning, though, as he allowed 2 more base runners and had to exit the game at 116 pitches. Both runs ended up scoring, and the first really epitomized the night for the Dodgers. Addison Barger reached first on a grounder that reached the outfield, took second base on a Snell wild pitch, took third on another Snell wild pitch, and then scored on an Edgardo Henriquez wild pitch. It was the first time in World Series history that a team threw 3 wild pitches in a single inning. A little less than 2 days ago, the Dodgers survived an 18-inning marathon to take a 2-1 lead. However, that game also laid bare their offensive woes, with their failure to score against a Blue Jays bullpen that has struggled almost as much as theirs this postseason. That has continued in the next 2 games, and LA now needs a complete offensive revitalization if it wants to win MLB's first back-to-back championships since 2000. The Dodgers will try to do that against Blue Jays starter Kevin Gausman in front of a hostile Toronto crowd on Friday in Game 6. On the bright side, they will have on the mound the only starting pitcher who has performed well against this Toronto lineup, Yoshinobu Yamamoto. Follow along with Yahoo Sports for live updates, highlights, and more from Game 5 of the 2025 World Series. You can hear Blue Jays fans singing "O Canada" by the MLB Network set from across Dodger Stadium. The Dodgers hit .210 in their final 3 games at Dodger Stadium. They're honestly lucky this series isn't already over. Final, Blue Jays 6, Dodgers 1. For a second straight day, the Blue Jays beat the Dodgers in all phases of the game. Trey Yesavage was unhittable to a historic degree. He had all the runs he needed just 3 pitches into the game, thanks to Schneider and Vladimir Guerrero Jr., and the Dodgers coughed up a few more runs down the line. This series is going back to Toronto with the Jays up 3-2 and win away from their first World Series title since 1993. Blake Treinen, a cyclone of misery for the Dodgers since the start of September, enters the game and throws a clean 9th inning to keep the deficit at 5 runs. Sure. Alex Call just worked a walk, something Andy Pages hadn't done all postseason. Up comes Shohei Ohtani against Dominguez with 2 outs. Pinch hitter Miles Straw flies out to end the top of the 8th inning. With his team up 5 runs, Trey Yesavage's night officially ends as Seranthony Dominguez takes over for the bottom of the 8th. Blue Jays 6, Dodgers 1. Anthony Banda stayed in and allowed a leadoff single to Ernie Clement, who took second on a wild pitch, then scored on a first-pitch single from Isaiah Kiner-Falefa. Teoscar Hernandez gets a single on a swinging bunt, but Tommy Edman grounds into a double play to end the 7th inning. Yesavage is at 104 pitches, and you would imagine that's it for him after a night no one could have imagined for him at the start of the season. His line, 7